It's that time. Welcome to Roadmap, how to take 3 listings a week until you're ready for more. Each week, we interview a great agent who's consistently taking several listings each month, and we have an exciting guest today. We encourage you to take notes and apply as much of the knowledge as quickly as you can, and then use the copycat principle. My co-host is on assignment this week. And before I introduce our guest today, I want to remind everyone that we are also simulcasting the show on the private lead gen group on Facebook. They have 52,000 members, so we have a large audience there today as well. And we will be pausing for a commercial message during the show as a thank you to the lead gen folks. Let's welcome our guest today from beautiful, is it Ocean Boulevard in Fort Lauderdale? Is it sitting there right now? Diana Fairbanks. Yep. Welcome, Diana.
Thank you. The beach is right outside my office.
I know. What a nice thing. You just open the window and you hear the roar of the ocean.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I never walk over there, but it's there.
It's a wonderful thing. I asked Diana if she would be on the show because we have a lot of people that are successful like Diana, and the other people that would like to be successful in this way. Well, they don't want to make $1 million a year, but they're happy with making somewhere close to $500,000 a year. But they want to have the time to enjoy it, which seems to be a problem for folks. People, when they start making $400,000 or $500,000, are working 6.5 days a week and taking very few vacations. And Diana's got the formula figured out, and she's here to share it with us today. Welcome, and I appreciate you being here. And what say you? Does that sound right?
Thank you, Ren. Thank you. Yep.
So the goal for this year, we're almost done with the year. We got a few more months. What is that goal? The
goal is 50. Not going to make it.
Okay. And what's an average commission check?
7,600.
Okay. All right. So somewhere around $400,000 a year.
Correct.
Somewhere in there is your typical number. And you've been doing this for a little while.
Yeah. 14 years.
14 years. Okay, good. And I was telling
Diana
earlier.
2007. If you back that up, that was 2007. Started at a perfect time.
That's a perfect. Well, actually, in a funny way, that is a perfect time.
It was because I didn't know what
kill you makes you stronger, right?
Yeah. Nobody told me that. I didn't know what a down market was, so I just went out and sold stuff.
There you go. At least it isn't hard to find inventory to sell.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't.
Especially in the state of Florida.
Yep.
Yeah. What's the name of the buildings they had a name for, because they were building all these condos and you could look through them.
Oh yeah, they were pretty empty.
Because they were empty. What did they call them? See-throughs or something?
I don't remember.
They had some nickname for that. But so you are making the money and you have the time to enjoy it. I was telling Diana before the show started that last night I was talking to a friend of mine who's been in the business a little bit longer than Diana, and doing similar number of transactions, working 6.5 days a week, working nights and weekends and very little time off. But there's a big difference in how Diana does it. And she's going to explain it here today. So how much of your business is sellers and how much is buyers?
It's 75% listing side. And then the buyers that do come in are almost entirely the sellers who need to move into something.
Because they're homeless.
Correct.
So folks, take a look at this, 75% sellers. For those of you watching the show, where are you on that spectrum? If you're not at least 60% sellers, you're working too hard and you don't have time to enjoy it. She's at 75%, with the rest being homeless people. Well, what do we know about buyers that you just sold their home and they have nowhere to go? What do we know, folks? They're loyal, right?
Yep. And they're motivated.
They're motivated and they don't take long.
No, they really don't.
And my favorite thing is they'll go out at Tuesday at 1. They won't wait, and they don't want to look all day Saturday and all day Sunday. They'll go out at Tuesday at 1 o'clock.
No, they want to get the job done because we got to close the date.
That's it. That's it.
Yep.
So there's the dream formula, folks. I'm happy that she can be on here because that is the formula. So then the question is, how do you do that? So where's your business coming from?
It's coming from 50% sphere referrals, past clients. I've been in business long enough now that I've got that database. And the other half is coming from prospecting, just regular, traditional, expireds, FSBOs, all that good stuff.
Good. And so expires for sale by owners is half your business, and and you do probates.
Yep, probates.
They're dying to sell. And then and she sent me a picture of a signed listing contract for sale because she started using our FRBOs. Folks, those are investors. They're offering a home for rent, and then you call them and talk to them about how many homes they have and would they like to sell either that one or perhaps a different one, or do a tax exchange for a different home. Because investors play old maid. They have 10, 12, 20, 30 homes, and they're always playing old maid, selling this one, buying another, selling one, buying one. So we want to get in the way. And Diana did that last week. She goes, I got my first one.
I used your script, and they were such easy calls because they haven't been bombarded by 17 other agents that just called them in the last half hour. And it's just a very straightforward. If you don't rent this, are you considering selling it at this time? Such a simple script. And either they are or they aren't.
Yeah, even more likely they aren't, but sometimes they are. But if they aren't, how many homes do you own now? How many investment properties do you have? Well, I have 11. 11, that's amazing. How long have you been doing this? Oh, about 5 years. Great. Do you have anything now you may want to sell or exchange for something more lucrative? I mean, there you go. All of a sudden you start collecting investors.
Yeah.
Yeah, all day long. So we want to encourage people to do that. So your database, the people and they know you and they love you, how often are you staying in touch with them?
I'm calling them quarterly. We email them monthly, and we also hard mail, post office mail.
So you're coming at them in all different ways. So a typical morning, what time do you start calling people?
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock. And then you wrap up around?
Noon.
Okay. So all morning you look for business. Yep. Early afternoon you work on the business, and then you have an appointment or two or none in the afternoon, and then you go home and have a great life. So it's a weekday job. This is a weekday job.
Yeah, I would say that it's maybe once a week I'm out in the evening. I try really hard to make the appointments either 2 o'clock or 4 o'clock.
And when you are a listing agent like you are, you can leave town, come back, and have 3 sell. Try that with buyers, folks.
Yeah.
Doesn't work. So have you taken any time off?
Yeah, it was in February. I was in Vietnam, Cambodia, and Thailand. I was gone for 22 days.
Great. What's the next trip?
Next trip is a week from Saturday to Australia and New Zealand for 16 days.
Folks, do you hear this? Folks, you don't have to make $1 million. You can make $500,000, have money, and this is a weekday job for some people. It's a weekday job. Yeah. Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 or 9 to 4 or 8 to 4. 8 to 3 some days.
Yeah.
It's exciting. It's exciting. So every month you're taking what, 2, 3, 4 listings? A listing a week, maybe average. Is that it? Or
the goal is 5 to 7
a month. Okay.
5 to 7 a month.
5 to 7 a month. Okay. Yep. That's fun. And you live in a beautiful place. Or it's a very beautiful place in February.
It is. Yes, very nice from November to April. Yeah. It's a little warm in the summer, but it's not too bad. Yeah.
One of the challenges that people have that are watching is, what do I say? I haven't called my past clients in years, and I'm going to call them up and reconnect, and it's been 4 years. What do you say?
Well, I don't really know, because I got that beat into my head really a long time ago by a great coach named Ann Baker, and she just was relentless. It took me a year to get the database up and running, but then once it was just clockwork. You just do it and do it and do it and do it. And it's the same thing when, we're told to touch base with our current clients every week.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing. If you get consistent and you do it every week, the price reductions are a no-brainer, because you talk to them every single week at the same time. And they know you're working.
So your follow-up with your clients, your current clients, is every week too.
Yeah.
Okay. So I hear that C word, consistency.
I think that
works, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's if I'm really good at one thing, that's probably it. I learned to prospect every single day early on. I wasn't very good at it. It took me a long time to get even halfway good at it, but I just stuck with it every single day. And now I don't feel like I went to work if I didn't prospect.
There you go. And so you are good at it. What's a typical conversation with a past client, somebody that you talk to on a regular basis?
Well, the big challenge is bringing value, not just, hey, Ren, it's Diana, your realtor. Who do you know that needs to buy or sell? That gets a little old if you're calling them with that same line every quarter. So it's coming up with something a little bit different each time to give them value. Hey, I've got a great list of vendors. You planning any home renovations? If you are, give me a call. I got some great vendors I'd love to pass on to you. Or
great tip.
Some, the other one has been, your tax bills come out in November. So if you think your tax bill is too high, let me know. I'll tell you how to go to the tax assessor and protest your bill.
Beautiful.
Kids,
so these are good value items.
Yeah. Just right. So there's something to talk about besides who do you know that would like to buy or sell in the next 7 to 10 days.
That's beautiful. Okay. So every time you call them, you've thought, okay, it's the fall market. I'm gonna bring this value item to them.
Right. Yeah.
And it's winter. I'm gonna bring this value item to them. Okay. Well, there's 2 for them to get started with, and then they can mull over what they're gonna do.
Right. And if you really think about it, you only have to come up with 4.
Yeah.
You're talking to them 4 times a year. So the same topic for all of them for each quarter. So
yeah.
It's only 4 things.
Right. And I've heard people will call and they'll when they've closed, they'll call near the end of the year and say, I have all your settlement papers and whatnot. If you need a copy of those for tax purposes, first of the year, things like that. They like that.
Yeah.
And then I also hear, do you adopt the other side? You ever done that?
I've done it. Usually either you have a strong agent and you're not going to get them, or it's just so easy. It's just because the other agent has just disappeared on them, and it's just super simple. And then when they sell, they list with you.
Great. Yeah. I want to welcome you to the neighborhood.
Yeah.
That's good. Fantastic. What else should we share with them? How do you do it on the days you don't feel like it? But I guess there are a few of those because you're enjoying
it. I mean, that's definitely, that's definitely out there. There are plenty of days I don't feel like it. It's the first call, just starting. You just got to pick it up and begin. And after that, you're like in a roll and it's going and the dialer's running and you just.
Is it a very exact time that you start?
Well, yeah, I mean, the whole morning schedule is pretty specific. I'm up at 4:30. I've got an accountability partner at 5 who we talk to each other every day. I'm at the gym at 6. And then from the gym, I'm going straight to the office. So, I mean, maybe there's a little variation in there, but it's pretty solid through to about noon. It gets haywire after lunch.
That is solid.
Yeah.
So your day really ends at lunch basically, and then you have an appointment or you don't.
Right.
So the old adage, the early bird gets the worm. It really works.
Yeah.
Starting early and having and would it be fair to say that whole piece in the morning with the working out and the the role play partner, accountability partner, and all those pieces cause that routine? So it would be weird not to start making that first call.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like that ritual pulls you.
It does. Absolutely. And then that's always something that coaches have always said is get the morning solid. The rest of your life will be fine.
Perfect. Yeah. Everything else does take care of itself. That's for darn sure. You set an appointment, you're going to go.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
What do you say to for sale by owners? What are you experiencing with them right now?
I think the thing I try and keep in mind is, I know Steve Futch, and I always just picture him is that he's so relentless. He always was saying, okay, it takes me 8 to 11 times to get them to list. And I'm like, oh my God, you are the king of for sale by owners. So try to get the appointment on the first call, but understand it's going to be a process with them and that you got to keep in touch with them every 3 to 4 days until they either list or sell.
Perfect. Yeah, and to be fair, sometimes it's on the first round you get them. So we can't count on it being the fourth or fifth round.
No. Yeah.
Sometimes it's just like that.
Yeah, because they're literally, like Mike says, they're literally looking for an agent and they didn't know where to find one.
Right. And you're the first person that comes along that makes some sense. So,
right. Yeah.
Okay. So good. And expired listings, sounds like you're doing a fair number of those.
I've always loved them. It's just, I mean.
Can you say that one more time?
Yeah, I do. They're so, I mean, it's so perfect. They want to sell their house. They want to sell it. They just need a better agent.
That's it. And somebody else has already measured the rooms and everything else for you. So it makes it a little easier.
Yeah. And they're just
all the work.
frustrated. Yeah.
Well, we know what didn't work.
Yep.
Yes. Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. And any other thoughts on expireds? Now, I know you don't want to give away all your secrets, but
the South Florida market is super, super competitive. Mike Ferry's been doing retreats down here. I don't know how long, 20 years probably. Yeah. So there is, I have at least 10 Mike Ferry agents in my company. So,
oh my goodness.
Yeah. So the broader marketplace is heavily saturated with people who are prospecting for expired listings.
Well, I mean, it makes sense because if you could just work during the day and then have a life on the nights and weekends, I mean, Florida's a great place to do that. There are some places way up here in the north where it's cold and rainy, and might as well just be working at night.
That's right. Yeah. So my philosophy on expireds is I need to get to them as fast as possible. Find the ones who actually are trying to do something as quickly as possible in the 8 to 9 o'clock hour.
That's what it really is, Diana, isn't it? The person that I always call expired listings like a Mexican piñata. The kids who get in there early get all the good candy. Yeah. You gotta get in early. What about old expireds? When do you consider them old expireds?
October 1st, there were 295 expireds in my marketplace. Mm-hmm. So, through those.
When do you think it's good to call them back as an old expired? Do you know? I mean, or do you even think about that?
Oh, I think my database at this point is back through 2012. So.
I love it.
Yeah. So I like 3-month-old, I like 6-month-old, but like the October one, after I went through them the first time, and I'm now going through them the second time. Mm-hmm. To see if there was any gems that got missed the first time through.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Good deal. Well, this has been wonderful. Any other little piece of advice you'd like to give people? Because now you're talking to all types here. You're talking to people that are 3 months in the business, 3 weeks in the business, 3 years in the business. They're in all walks of life. Hopefully some of the ones that have been doing this for a decade and a half can be more of a lean towards the listing process and have a little more time in their life. Any other little tidbits you'd like to share?
I think that the thing that besides consistency is accountability, and that everybody talks about certain, I've got somebody in my office, if I don't make my contacts, it's $100 for every contact. It doesn't have to be that aggressive. It just somebody that you need to report to.
Yeah, just showing up. It's sort of like, and you may be doing this. I know for me, if I have to meet somebody at the gym, I will always be there. If I'm going to go there on my own, I might not always be there.
Yep. Exactly. Mastermind groups are fantastic. When I started in this business, I didn't even know there were business books. I just thought there was fiction. So it was, being a part of these masterminds and finding out about all these other things. Dialers. I didn't know about dialers. I was using my finger. So by masterminds, you learn all these new things that you didn't know about. Yeah, thank God it wasn't Rotary at least. Yeah.
Good deal. And then one of the things, and Diane's been dancing around at the whole show, but when she is getting ready, she's done her prospecting. She's talked to 37 people. She set 2 appointments. And she deserves a treat. So as a listing agent, she goes to the freezer and gets delicious Grader's Mint Chocolate Chip. This is the one for listings. If you're working with buyers, that's Rocky Road or something. But this is the one for listings. If the listing is slow to sell, in Fort Lauderdale, what they do, and all over North America, they dig a hole in the front yard and bury it upside down. And that listing will sell just like that. So I want to thank everybody for being here. And thank Diana. What a wonderful, wonderful treat this is to help people become more efficient.
There you go.
And I hope you have fun. Where are you going to go in Australia? Sydney, Melbourne, Perth?
Cairn to the Great Barrier Reef, and then down to Sydney, and then across to Auckland, Queenstown, and Rotorua. I don't know how to pronounce that one, but
wow.
Yeah.
Wow, what an adventure.
Yep.
Gosh, folks, if you want to go to Australia, if you want to go to Vietnam, you want to have be able to go for 2 or 3 weeks, be a listing agent, follow the model.
Yeah.
Reach out to Diana. Oh, because a lot of people want to buy a first or a second home in Fort Lauderdale.
Yes.
Or I don't know how far you
actually
north and south.
Yeah, I serve the basically South Florida, Palm Beach, Broward, and Dade. So that's Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Palm Beach, all 3 counties.
Okay, good. And if they wanted to reach out to you for that, to send you business, somebody wants to buy or sell, or both, what's the best way?
Probably my cell phone, which is 954-600-4003. My website is Diana Fairbanks Homes, but that's so freaking long that, you misspell it.
DianaFairbanksHomes.com.
Yep.
Okay, DianaFairbanksHomes.com. Everybody say it 3 times. Okay, we got it. Thank you, Diana.
Thank you, Ren. Send ice cream.
All right, have a good time. It'll just be turning spring where you're headed.
In Australia, yeah.
That's it. All righty, enjoy the spring season down there.
You got it. Thanks.
Down under. Bye-bye.